Hello, welcome. Thank you for doing business with Meducation Specialists, also known as MedSpx. Glad to have you. Today we're going to go over a quick tutorial on Quizlet, which is a great website for uploading study cards and flashcards and using them. And they have several functions where they help test your ability and make sure that you are very versed in the material in those cards. So this is just the platform that we like to use before you come to any of our classes, and whether that's CPR, ACLS, any of the classes we've designed, we send you here. We get you studying and practicing so that when you come to class, you don't just read the book, because unfortunately just reading is not studying, and we want you to come to class, the first class, ready to go. So we use this service forces you to study versus just read. Some people are great, and they can pick up things just by reading, but for the most of us, we have to not only read a little bit, and you should stop reading once you get the concepts down, once you understand the concept, and then you should start putting those into some type of notes so that you can study them. We've had real success with using note cards, so Quizlet is a great service, again, for uploading note cards and that kind of thing. Now, we've taken the time to do the note cards, but what we're going to do right here is just run through getting you into Quizlet. So Quizlet is where all of our study material is, so that you can prepare for the first day of class, because we're not going to lecture to you a whole lot. We're not going to make you watch too many boring videos. We're going to actually get into the process of CPR or ACLS or whatever specific class you're taking. We're going to now get you primed and ready to go, so that first day to come to class, you are already on the ball and ready to rock and roll. So you get to Quizlet. You can see username or password, or you can sign in with Facebook. Okay, so I'm going to take the time real quick and sign up, and we will get going. And here we are, pulled up. I just click the Facebook button, and lo and behold, I get pulled up. So your home page looks like this after you've signed in. You can see I have several decks of cards here ready to go. What we're going to do is you're going to, from this point, go to your dashboard, my dashboard. And once you pull this up, you have a lot of things here. Here's the sets that you've created. Here's the subject of the sets you've created. Here's what you've studied over the last several days, any discussions, any extra groups, and that kind of thing. There's also going to be a box probably right here. If it's not there, it also could be up here. But it will say you've been invited to such and such group, or you've been invited to such and such deck of cards to study. Now, you of course click onto that, and chances are you'll be I'll have a CPR group, and I'll just invite you to that, and that's usually where we're going to find a lot of my decks of cards. But the big navigation is you go into my dashboard, look and see if you've been invited to the CPR class or ACLS class or whatever specific class this is, because at MedSpx we have several, but we all use this Quizlet service. Look at groups and choose the name of the class, and the name of the group is going to be the name of the class that you're taking. So let's just say this is CPR. You're going to want to click onto that, and let me pull up a CPR one real quick and show you. Okay, we scroll down, and you can see here that BLS for healthcare providers, this would be the group that you would want to join, that I will send you an invite probably a week to 2 weeks out for your class, if you were joining us for this particular class. Now, granted, there's multiple different types of classes. Whatever class that you're signing up for, then you should look you should look for an invite to this particular group coming to your login to your website here on Quizlet. And ultimately, once you get set up for that, which isn't anything more than accept, and then this will be in your group menu. So let's just say you're taking CPR. So this is BLS for healthcare providers. Then what we want to do is to click this. Okay, so we got our BLS for healthcare providers. So this is basically just CPR for, of course, healthcare providers. And this is the group. This is where you'll enter. And then you'll see you'll have a certain number of cards a certain amount of decks here that you'll need to complete. And that's what this orientation really is, to show you this part right here. Here we have CPR pearls. So in an email preceding coming to our class, you'll be given a series of instructions. One of them will be a quick primer on how to get onto Quizlet in writing. The next one will be the decks on Quizlet that you need to complete before coming to class. And also there'll be some information on there on how to print out that information. And this is what we're going to achieve, all three of those things with this video tutorial as well. So let's say that on your piece of paper or your email that we sent you, it said make sure you take CPR pearls, print out the test function, and make sure that you have an 85% or better. Okay, no problem. So here we go. So we choose CPR pearls. That's going to be the deck we want to go to. Okay, so it gets you to the site here where the cards that you are to study before you go to whatever particular class you're taking with us is located. And here we go. So this is our CPR pearls. This is, let's just say, in the hypothetical world, you want to take CPR from us, and 2 weeks out, we say, okay, hey, here's your password here, and make sure to go create a username with Quizlet, log on to the site, and make sure that you study up on the deck CPR pearls right here. And when you get done with that, make sure you go through the learn process and then the test process. And both of these are fantastic, and we're just going to run through those real quick and show you how they can help us. So you study the cards. I always like term first. You can choose both sides, which puts both the front of the card and the back of the card on the same. But I like only one at a time, and I like term first because that's basically the question of the card, but nonetheless. Correct rate of chest compressions and cardiac arrest. Okay, here we click to flip, but I just think for a second, okay, that's going to be about 100 a minute. Okay, good deal. Flip it back, go to the next card. Correct ventilation rate when an advanced airway is in place. Okay, that's about every 5 to 6 seconds. Every 5 to 6 seconds. Okay, so for example purposes, I only have 2 cards in this deck so that we can show you quickly how to use the rest of these functions. To study, there's 3 functions here. To play, there's 2 other games you can play, which also helps you to study. But let's choose Learn. You can see the last time I did this, I got round 1, I got 100. Let's just start over. So when you start over, it shows you here the remaining cards you have in the deck. It shows you how many you got correct and or incorrect, and how many you got correct. Okay, and I like the configuration here. I like all these checked. When grading, ignore the case, ignore the punctuation, ignore the spaces, ignore the step parentheses. Just make sure that it's got the gist of it. So 100 a minute. That's correct rate of chest compressions. Answer. So it says it's incorrect. But in cardiac arrest was what was different. But now this is pretty much accurate. This is like there's an option here, override. I was right. We can choose if we can kind of basically grade ourselves. Did we answer correctly? And in this case, yes. That's the rate of correct chest compressions. No problem. We override that. All right, every 5 to 6 seconds. And again, we write it in. Okay, answer. And this is incorrect, but of course there's a couple of different things. Correct rate of ventilations when an advanced airway was in place. This is correct ventilation rate when, so these are basically the same answer. Override, we were right. Okay, it gets here. Now what I want you to do is open up a Word file somewhere in your computer. Just open up a Word file, come back here. Left click and hold, scroll through to get all the questions, and then just right click, copy. Okay, once you copy, go back to your Word file, right click, paste. Print that out, bring that to class. So once you have that printed out, good deal. Let's just go back to the main page set. Let's do test this time. So then it generates a full test on everything, on all the cards. So the written question is 100 a minute. Okay, that's going to be correct rate of Cardiac arrest, okay. Multiple choice, every 5 to 6 seconds, correct ventilation rate when advanced airway is in place, correct rate of chest compressions. Now, ideally, when there's more questions, then the test itself can generate more answers. So it won't just be A and B. There's usually going to be 4 answers to choose from. This particular, every 5 to 6 seconds, that's when an advanced airway is in place. So we'll click this. Check our answers. So this gives us, this does not give us an option to correct here, but this does give us a good grade as far as it just does give us a grade. So this is why that I usually like to use the learn function versus the test function. But either way, when you come here, left click and hold, and then just drag over here to this 50%. So the right under the letter grade, right click, copy, and then go open up a new Word document, or you could put it at the end of the learn, what you pasted into the learn function, what you pasted into that document. Either way, print this out again, bring these 2 items to class. You need to make sure that in learn you have, and the magic word is 80% or better. 80% or better in the learn function. And let's bring that to class, and we'll get it started. And that's how we get you prepared for whatever class you're going to take with us, so that you don't have to sit there and we have to go over all this death by PowerPoint or boring videos. You've practiced this, you're ready to go. Studying is so much more valuable than just reading. If you just read, you're not exactly studying. You have to use that information and write it down, or record it, voice record it, or you have to do something active with that information, and that's what we're making you do now. We're making you be active with this information so that when you come to class, we can get really started on doing a lot of scenarios, and that's where you really learn a lot of the material in a lot of our classes, whether it's a canned course like ACLS or CPR, or it's one of the classes that we design. This is the bread and butter of Meducation Specialists and MedSpx. And this is how we're going to help you be very, very successful. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.